very much. I'm glad to be here.
Indeed, our pleasure. And in our Abuja studio, we have Honorable E.J. Agbonaima. Chief E.J. Agbonaima is the Federal Commissioner of Code of Conduct Bureau. And once again, Honorable, we're glad to have you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me, and good afternoon to our viewers out there.
Okay, sir. You're a bit ahead of time because, yes, in another 1 hour, you'll be able to say good afternoon, but we're in late morning.
Oh, morning, good morning, yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning. Well, now that we have you, our subject matter is, it looks like, it sounds like it reads like a sensational headline. It sounds like a sensational headline, talking about Emefiele houses, 753 of them in an estate in Abuja that have been confiscated by the EFCC, and I hear have been handed over to the government. Maybe let's start from, there you go, you have the pictures. I was just telling Chief Jerry in the studio that it sounds like a sensational headline, but give me your views on 753, they say, duplex houses, even if they were bungalows, 753 houses. Reportedly, you know, the property of, now former property, having been confiscated, of the former CBN governor, Mr. Emefiele. First of all, talk to me on that. How does that grab you as a commissioner for Code of Conduct?
Well, thank you, Mr. Folari. This is more than sensational headline. I think we own, the chairman of the the chairman of EFCC, Dr. Olu Koyede, and applaud. Yes, we do. Nigerians should appreciate, should applaud him, to congratulate him for a good job well done. 753 houses. Of course, that is what we can see so far. If you have to go down, this is the one you can say in Abuja. We are not talking about the one probably in Lagos or outside the soil of this country, in abroad. This is mind-boggling, and it's so sad.
Indeed.
They say, what shall it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul? Are we going to be buried when we die? What is all this wet for?
You know, Honorable,
this is an insane
Honorable,
aberration.
Sorry, sir. Honorable, as a commissioner, as a federal commissioner at the Code of Conduct Bureau, are you satisfied now? Has your bureau received total clearance that indeed the houses do belong to the gentleman that we're talking about? Because, you know, for a while they were talking about a high-ranking public official. They wouldn't mention the name, but now the name has come out. All due process has been observed, and indeed we can say that these houses belong to, well, used to belong before the confiscation to, Mr. Emefiele.
Yeah, Mr. Yori, I'm not speaking for EFCC, but we are a partner in this journey. My chairman, Dr. Abdullahi Usman Bello, the chairman of Code of Conduct Bureau, and the chairman of EFCC, and the chairman of ICPC, by the grace of God, have been able to come together to work for the interests of our dear nation. And what you are seeing, like I've said before, this is not about making rumors or making statements that will not take us anywhere. This is a reality that 753 houses belonging to one individual. So, in a country
that is belonging to Emefiele.
To Mr. Emefiele, yes,
Okay.
belonging to Mr. Emefiele.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I'm telling you, this is just only in Abuja, belonging to Mr. Emefiele. This is just only in Abuja. We're not talking about the one in Lagos that they are still investigating. We're not talking about the one outside the country that is in abroad, that he has acquired. And this is a man is still working freely. In a country where law really works, where people obey the laws that govern this country, this man, by now, would have faced the wrath of the law.
Okay, Chief, I'm going to come back to you, Honorable. I beg your pardon, sir. I'm going to come back to you, Honorable, for you to continue. But I did want to also hear from in studio here.
Yes, go ahead.
You know, Chief Jerry. Chief Jerry Chukwueke, how did this news grab you and the transition from a high-ranking government official to naming Mr. Emefiele by name, former governor of Central Bank? And you begin to sort of connect the information you just got that, a public officer, namely Mr. Emefiele, not 100 houses, not 200 houses, not 600 houses, not 700 houses, 753 houses belonging to him have been confiscated. How did that news, it boggles the mind, doesn't it?
Well, of course, yes. And we can look at the bigger picture in all of this. But so far, my understanding is that these housing units and estate under construction was unclaimed as part of an aggressive and rigorous investigation by the EFCC, subject matter in court, and the court gave a ruling after due notice that since nobody's claiming this property, that it must be and is proceeds of criminal activity and must revert to the federal government. Okay. That's my understanding of where we are.
Okay.
Because I believe that the allegation and Mr. Emefiele's case is still in court.
It is.
And I think we have to be a bit careful. But what's important is the assets, this estate, has reverted to the federal government.
It has.
And they are now, the federal government is talking about a transparent auctioning so Nigerians can benefit from this in terms of returning these assets to the common good pool. That's really where we are, my understanding.
Exactly.
But there's a bigger picture in my view. I think that this is another strong indication of the determination of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to walk through this system and cure every ill possible. I believe that what we're experiencing in not just this, but in many other aspects of what's going on today, is this determination to be a legacy president. I believe that. This is my personal opinion. Because after all, what else does he have to prove to anybody but to God, right? He's a successful man. He clearly had vision for Nigeria. And when he had his chance, he's asserting that vision and driving it courageously. So, part of that big picture, in my view, and I commend the gentleman from
the Code of Conduct Bureau.
Code of Conduct Bureau, that the truth is there's a lot more work to be done. Because fighting corruption requires a lot more than reacting to it after it's happened. You got to be now more focused on due process, orientation and sensitization of federal government ministries, agencies. In addition to that, taking that message and sensitization and orientation to the subnational levels and meaning business with it. So all organs of government, from federal all the way down to subnationals, understand that this fight is for real.
Indeed.
And in fact, having conversations about technology, how you deploy technology in due processing, in revenue mobilization, in fact plugging the holes. The strategic way of fighting corruption is to prevent as much of it as possible from occurring.
Indeed.
And that's the angle I think is even more critical, because this is what the eyes can see. There's a lot the eyes can't see.
That is.
And what we want to do, and that's what I believe this government must continue to focus on, is how we plug the holes across the board. And let me finish, if I may. Look at the ripple effect of the efforts with regards to plugging the holes. It was written in a report that Lagos State government, where we are, is now headed towards over ₦1 trillion in this budget year in internally generated revenue. Can you beat that? It's all because the holes are being plugged with technology and due process and expanding the revenue net. The Federal Capital Territory, under the federal, under the former governor of Rivers State, is also doing very well.
Minister Wike.
Minister Wike, in revenue mobilization and plugging the holes and expanding the net. In fact, Edo State, many states are on them. So this corruption business and the fight must be a systematic one.
Indeed.
So we're not looking at the one issue.
I hear you.
And ensuring that we keep plugging the holes, more so when we're now going to be revenue challenged. Look at the budget. Look at our one-dimensional economy. It's all about crude sales. Look at the price of crude today. It means there'll be less revenue accruing as a consequence of crude oil sales. And by the time this government continues to meet our obligations, they've paid off the IMF, that's a great one. They are meeting forward sales obligations, that's great. They continue to build up the reserves to meet the demands of exchange rate and so on, and stabilization, that's very good. Now on the internal side, how we take this fight and focus on preventing, deploying technology, due process across the strata of government will be the key for the future. That's what I believe is happening, and this is just a one focus, in my view, on it.
You know, thank you. Honorable EJ, just as Chief Jerry is saying here, we saw the pictures there, we saw the TV picture there. It's an estate that, it's not completed, but it's certainly, there you go. You can see the level to which it has got. Lord knows how many acres you will need. Somebody gave approval for all of that. Somebody paid all the dues. So as Chief Jerry was saying, we need to bring forensic aspects to this. Somebody approved that, and he could only have approved when he would have thought, or he or she or they would have thought that nothing looks suspicious here, this is in order. Otherwise, that would have been the first flag. And that was why I was asking at the very, very top that, look, are we now putting a name to this? But as has been explained, nobody came forward to claim ownership. And so, and the matter is still in court, as Chief Jerry has said. The matter is still in court. Nobody came forward to claim. And so now we are saying that they are Emefiele houses, 753 of them. Speak to me, if you will, about the point that Chief Jerry raised, which is that we need to now look at our systems and prevent this kind of a thing from happening. I think everybody can understand when he implied that it needs to be a lot more difficult to be this corrupt, if indeed this is all about corruption, than is the case right now at the moment.
Thank you, Mr. Yuri, and thank you to the guests sitting by you in Lagos. For me, I think corruption is a cancer that has eaten us deeply, that needs total eradication. And to do that is going to require the collective effort of every patriotic Nigerians. One man cannot do this alone. The FCC, ICPC, Code of Conduct Bureau cannot do it alone. All Nigerians, it's everybody's business to fight the menace of corruption. It is sad that this is where we have found ourselves. This is what we are seeing now. There's more, of course, that you definitely see sooner or later. I want to thank God that the Code of Conduct Bureau, they used to call it the sleeping giant. But I can tell you that the sleeping giant is now awake. They said he's a toothless bulldog. But Code of Conduct Bureau now have grown teeth, and it can bite anyone found wanting. That is courtesy of the new chairman, because one individual can change the narratives. The moribund can expose and bring to bear, with capacity and commitment. Yes, Dr. Abdullahi Usman Bello, who is the chairman of Code of Conduct Bureau, he came just a few months ago, but I can tell you the progress, what we have achieved so far in the areas of fighting the menace of corruption. So when he did make a statement that it's going to require the collective effort of every Nigerian, that if you see something, say something. Report anyone that you found one thing that you believe is living above his or her means, that his earning is not commensurate, enough, that you should report such person to Code of Conduct Bureau. Chairman, Code of Conduct Bureau, because we all have to be part of this. I understand that Nigerians, we are always, reactive. We are not proactive.
Yes.
Preventive measure must be put in place. That is what today I can say without fear of favor, that the Code of Conduct Bureau is not the same Code of Conduct Bureau that you to hear about. There's a new sheriff in town that has come to redefine, to change the narratives, that we are fighting corruption head on. Now, every public officer, no matter how highly placed you are, you refuse to declare your asset, either by anticipatory declaration or by stolen public funds. And if you are found wanting, you will face the wrath of the Lord. Simple as ABC.
I'm happy you ended on the law there.
Yeah.
I'm happy you ended on the word law there, because one of the things that everybody is going to be concerned about, of course, is that all of this is goes in accordance with the law. It was Chief Jerry Chukwueke in studio here who pointed out that, well, this matter is still in court. And I wonder how you feel about that, that the matter is still in court. There hasn't been...
the matter is still in court. Yes, I agree with him. The matter is still in court. I'm not discussing what is in court, but I'm telling you the corruption that has eaten us deeply, that is a concern to every Nigerian. To me, as a Nigerian, I'm a Nigerian.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a concern.
As a country.
We've discussed about the houses. So the EFCC, what they have done, we should applaud them. We should appreciate them.
Indeed.
Yes. We should appreciate them. So we shouldn't... Look, this is something that every Nigerian should rise up against the fight of corruption. It's our problem. That's what has hindered us from moving forward. Compared to Dubai, America, Europe, that we run to, that because of the money stolen, look at Emefiele when he was governor of Central Bank. He bastardized this nation. He stole this country dry. Are you talking about stamp duty? Stamp duty man found. Where is it? Trillions of naira gone to voicemail. The same Emefiele, he bought vehicle. He was contesting for presidency. He did everything to stagnate, to ridicule Nigerian, to his knees because of the naira, each situation he brought. Just because of one individual, he wanted to derail the wheel of progress of the current president. As a result, he stole Central Bank dry. And we Nigerians, we are sitting down. But when somebody steals 10,000, 100,000, he's in jail, he's sentenced, in prison. Those who have stolen our resources, our wealth, billions and trillions, they are working freely. This is double standard.
Okay.
I want
Indeed.
the judiciary, Nigerians, all of us, to wake up that if we don't fight corruption, corruption will kill Nigeria. My prayer is that corruption does not kill Nigeria. People will tell me, why are you always speaking about, oh, yet it's our business, it's everybody's business. It is everybody's business. I was listening to your program, your view on TVC. Try to, mislead Nigerians. And I want to appreciate the host. The host did a very, very fantastic job. But one of my sisters could not understand that, look, fighting corruption is everybody's business. It's not Mr. Chairman, Dr. Usman alone. All of us collectively. The media, Nigerians as a whole.
Okay.
We have to fight this corruption. You are saying 753
Okay. Sorry, let me come back to you. Let me come back to you. Honorable EJ, I'm going to come back to you. Please forgive me for interrupting.
Yes, so I just wanted to follow up on a point you made earlier with regards to how we got to this in the first instance. The issue of the 735 or thereabout housing units. Somebody signed off on the building plan. Somebody dealt with registration documents as to who the owners of this corporate entity are.
Or is.
Or
where.
Is. Or where.
Yes.
Remember?
Yes, at the time.
Yeah, this is happening years ago.
Yes, yes.
Not in this administration. So the due process failed us, didn't it? How would you have a massive estate of this nature we're talking about, and we say that the owners are not forthcoming, and nobody's claiming it?
Nobody wants to claim it.
And nobody wants to claim it?
I mean, it's like a stash of cocaine. Nobody wants to claim that.
So this is the point. But it went through registration.
It did.
Documentation submissions. It went through some process of approval, okay, from the land allocation to all of the safety issues. Who were the people behind
Might there even have been inspection?
So this is the point.
These are the kind of things people who don't know anything about it will sort of expect.
And that's what I'm talking about. That EFCC, no doubt, and other agencies like his are
they need to be commended.
Certainly doing a good job.
Yeah.
I'm only making the point that a lot more because we need to focus more on how to ensure that nobody has opportunity for this sort of
this kind of thing
service, wickedness to our system. And let me follow up in just a bit more. You know, you hear things about what the EFCC is also discovering. Billions and billions of naira in individuals' accounts. And we have a banking system that is supposed to, know your customer. How is it in the 21st century, here in Nigeria, that people can have enormous cash deposited in individual accounts to the knowledge of the banking system, and those monies are floating in the system without anybody doing the needful?
Yeah, the banks are also culpable.
This is the point.
The banks are also culpable because as our people say, you get where the money go reach.
Exactly.
They are obliged to alert the authorities that somebody just dropped 750 billion naira in their account.
It's really ridiculous. I mean,
so we talk about double standards.
Yeah, so anywhere in the world, particularly in America and Europe and in many parts of Asia, if you go to your account and deposit more than $10,000 or withdraw more than $10,000 in cash, the security agencies are alerted immediately.
But we also have those provisions here.
So that's the point I'm making, that the fact that we who are operating the systems are compromised or are focused on our selfish interests. I'll give you an example. I'm not indicting any bank. I'm just saying that we got a lot of work to do. If a bank gets a deposit of 50 billion into an individual's account, and you know that customer's history, that he couldn't have earned this money through a legitimate business process. If it were to be in a corporate account, you at least see who is paying the money and how the money is got there, and you don't report it because in your mind is money that you can play with and position your bank or financial institution properly, then you are doing as much a disservice as who deposited those monies illegally. And so I'm focusing more on the work that must be done even more aggressively. Furthermore, I'm not just now talking about the opportunity fighting corruption to increase our IGRs. I'm also looking at the issue of the consequential decision Mr. President took about fuel subsidy and ensuring that funding to the subnationals have more than tripled. That's another big opportunity. What can we do to focus on the opportunities as well in the subnationals to ensure the proper sensitization and proper orientation and awareness that the system is watching to ensure that these funds are applied to achieve the social impact it is designed to achieve.
I hear you.
I think that's important.
It is. It definitely is. And Honorable EJ, as both you gentlemen have now spoken about this, this matter, I think somebody has used the expression double standards. We need to get rid of double standards when it comes to this fight of this about corruption. No doubt the federal investigators who are going about this job, they know their job, but you see, perhaps the public can't really understand exactly what is going on. The fact that the name Emefiele has been mentioned, whatever the matters are in court, we don't want to talk really about what's going on in court. But this particular gentleman, remember, there was a time he wanted to be president. Remember, Nigerians were regaled with pictures of a whole convoy of vehicles bearing his livery or insignia or whatever you want to call it. And I don't know why at the time nobody thought that, wait a minute, the central bank governor, we know what your salary is. You're not one of those who can say you might not know what $10 salary is, you might not know what Dangote's salary is. That's a private concern. But this is a public individual paid by the government, and he not only paid the fees for the form, it was not done by proxy, it was not done secretly. All Nigerians saw those pictures, and nobody said anything. So we come back to this whole matter of double standards. It's now convenient to, maybe all of us are, as it were, almost getting our knickers in a twist, as they express it in elsewhere. But the fact that we don't seem to, deal with these matters that present themselves to us. Emefiele wanted to be president, and I'm bringing this up simply because his name has been mentioned. We don't know whether it is him or whether he owns it, whether he doesn't own it. The courts will sort that out. But the point is, nobody has been able to step forward and say, hey, don't touch it. It's my property. It's that.
And that's the point.
It is my property.
Yes, and just real quickly, whoever it is that owned this estate could not have worked in isolation. You and I know that. He had enablers.
Yes, but please, I must get Ifije.
Yeah, please go ahead.
So yeah, Honorable EJ. Yes, it is. Yeah. Bringing all these things together.
Yes.
So, Honorable EJ, is there not whereas we're all commending the EFCC now, but what standards are we working on? What standards are we working with? People feel that Nigeria is a lost case when it comes to corruption because they will scatter the whole place. We've also, in the light of what I've just been saying, how hopeful are you that we can become where we need to be, squeaky clean on this whole matter?
My brother, Mr. Yuri, this is one question that needs millions of answers. Let me take you back Once upon a time, I was the board of director of Nigerian Railway.
Okay.
When I left Nigerian Railway, I saw the kind of corruption that was there before I became member House of Reps. When there was a petition about how the railway had been, the fund had been siphoned, stolen, and I was the chairman of that ad hoc committee to investigate Nigerian Railway. Let me let you know this. The director of admin Nigerian Railway, I never knew he was seconded from EFCC. Everything that happened in Nigerian Railway then, he took note of everything. When I became a member House of Reps, when I was asked to chair the ad hoc committee, I said, no, I don't want to. As a former member of Nigerian Railway, there's no need. That would be a double standard. The speaker, former speaker Dogara, said, no, you must chair it. I never knew that the former director of admin of Nigerian Railway is now back to EFCC. He knew everything, the fraud. When we try to investigate and we saw how much was stolen, the deal Nigeria had with CCECC then, there was a lot of anomaly. There's a Chinese man that was in China who was working along with the Nigerian government in order to bring to bear a better railway system in Nigeria. That he's embezzled, he stole money. He was executed in China. Why those in Nigeria who connived, who work with him, are still working freely in Nigeria? So, what I'm trying to tell you, when you steal billions, trillions, you are being celebrated. You are being celebrated. But when you steal 10,000, 100,000, you are in jail. How many people have we seen? As a matter of fact, Emefiele is not an issue that should be discussed. There is a matter before the Code of Conduct Bureau many years ago that was killed. But I'm happy today with the new chairman of Code of Conduct Bureau, the end will justify the means. Because we have to come together to fight this menace. This is an aberration. It's a sin to God and to mankind. They have stolen this country dry, for God's sake.
All right. Okay.
What is it?
I tell you what, we've got to take a break now.
Look, I'm sorry. Talking about Emefiele, the matter is in court, is not the issue. Even a blind man can see that Emefiele stole this country dry. He did. He did. And he should be prosecuted. He should be thrown into jail.
Okay.
It's not because we don't have death penalty anymore. Anybody that's found wanting, I'm surprised they hang people, they kill people for stealing just barely nothing. Those who steal trillions and billions are being celebrated. What about the Accountant General of the Federation, who stole over 200 something billion, that is being celebrated, giving chieftaincy title? And so, here, people will say, leave him, leave him. He's not the only one. We are aiding and we are abetting.
We've got to take a break now.
So every one of us have a role to play. President Tinubu cannot fight the corruption alone. You watching me, you have a role to play. You do have a role to play.
But there are so many. It's not a matter of dual standards. There are multiple standards being operated in this country. You've just referred to a situation yourself. The people between them and us that were, engaged in a particular practice, over in China, they were executed. I'm not advocating execution for anybody. We have our own processes, our own laws. They were executed. Here, they're still walking around as big men. So we go back to this matter of standards. Is it political? Is it moral? We don't do things like that. You just finished saying it, EJ, that, leave him. He's not the only one. Anyway, I got to go on a break. I'll come back. I know you gentlemen want to add to this whole matter, but perhaps the question of multiple standards, and we're not really ready to address them, because you address one, it will create a domino effect is the logic that some people are fearing and hoping that is not in operation. So that the domino effect shall not happen, I beg, just let him go. That's my speculation. Stay with us, please. We'll be right back. We'll include your calls as well when we come back.
I'm Emefiele, news anchor with TVC News. My day is usually busy and it's difficult keeping up with breaking news stories, trending stories, business news, stock exchange and what have you. But with TVC News on WhatsApp, I'm able to catch up with all the breaking news, real-time updates and trending stories on the go, right on my phone, no matter where I am. It's quick, easy and always on. And here you can join us by scanning the QR code or using the link on our X and Instagram. Why wait? Come to the side of news that keeps you ahead. TVC News, first with breaking news.
We shall remodel our economy to bring our growth and develop the GDP, achieve the GDP much better than we are.
Finance, foreign affairs, trade and investment, and some more. Join us on Beyond the Headlines with Emefiele as we engage federal ministers and executive governors across the country to share the challenges and successes. Tune in to TVC News at 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. from the 19th of May to the 30th of May 2025.
TVC News, first with breaking news.
Okay, welcome back. And well, I was just saying that we'll take your calls in this time, but I hear that Mazi Okorafo is already on the line. Good morning to you, Mazi Okorafo.
You see, this issue of selling. When you say selling, and when federal government says selling, and they are going to auction, to who and who? So to my own.
They said it will be transparent. They said it will be done in a transparent manner.
You see, we're in a country that, you see, a China man says in China, in their own country, their own is politics. That is what leads to corruption. But when you come to our own side of Africa, our own is corruption, and corruption is about politics and insecurity. That's how our own corruption is. The thing is, to me, the government says it's transparent, but I've never seen government property that is transparent. Let us face the reality of life. This is nothing but truth. Reason, when you come to an agency, they want to sell a vehicle, but up to 20 million. They will come back, or guys will sign the bidding 300,000. Have you seen the difference? So that is why I don't even trust that thing. What I was suggesting that if the federal capital territory can take it upon themselves, for Nigeria, either you are rich or you are poor. Middle class is no longer visible. They can take money, they have their own unit, have an agency to take care of that, complete that, the whole of that stuff, that would 100, 300 upon them, complete the structure. All those junior ones, they either to sell it to them like other companies, or to do what? To rent to them. That to me, as an individual, as a citizen of this country. Why am I saying? Because 80% of Nigerians in Abuja complaining about accommodation, and everybody knows about it. So this is just a free gift of nature, because central bank Emefiele is federal government resources. Federal government is Nigerian money, our hard-earned currency from oil. It's everybody. So that is supposed to be, because if you are going to sell it, the same kakush within that federal agency, the development of houses and this, they will still go back and arrange it. I'm going on. I sit there in the bazaar in the church occasion. Going number one, they arrange houses, they go on. That is what is going to happen there. At the end of the day, if
okay.
you have a standard.
All right, Mazi, I hear you. Thank you very much for calling in, sir. You see, there you go. The man, being a Nigerian, and he's not exactly 15 years old. So what he's implying there is that we've seen this before. We've seen this come, we've seen this go. Even in customs, when customs says they want to auction vehicles that have been seized, we know that it's not a transparent auction. So why would this be transparent? So that's when you were saying that a lot more work needs to be done to persuade the people that we are on the level, because many people don't believe that we're on the level. In fact, one person was, everybody's entitled to their opinion, one person was doing an assessment of this administration, and this person said that in the area of corruption, he's going to score the people, he's going to score the administration 10% in terms of the effectiveness. That was his own particular opinion. But it does go to show that Nigerians, a lot more needs to be done, as you suggested, Chief Jerry, for Nigerians to really come on board and take you seriously and think that you can be trusted. So
I think this is an important opportunity for the EFCC and the particular ministry they're collaborating with regards to how to bring these assets back to the common fold and the common pot.
I think it would be the Ministry of Justice.
I believe so. But so because all eyes are on them and people are watching.
Indeed.
What we must do is, having appreciated the efforts they've made so far, is to keep their feet to the fire. To say, we need you to do the very next important step. Be transparent in this process and ensure that Nigeria accrues value, adequate value, and that the adequate value is deployed in ways that can further impact the social situation or social impact of Nigerians. That's what we are talking about. Indeed. And to ensure that is also a deterrent. So,
well, the gentleman, the Honorable EJ, was saying that we're under the new chair of the Code of Conduct Bureau, that things, you know, are not the same. Can you hear me, Honorable EJ?
Yes,
because
I'm hearing you.
Yes,
you are 100% correct.
That things are not the same.
There's a new game. There's a new.
It's a new game, and
with the new
much is being expected.
With a new vision.
EFCC, thank you very much. Ministry of Justice, we expect you to do the needful. But even your body, your body itself, the Code of Conduct Bureau, as Chief Jerry was just saying, Nigerians are holding everybody's feet to the fire, because what you are up against is people thinking that it's not going to be different. Now, you must know this. I'm not telling you anything new. And so people are going to be watching.
It's going to be different. It's going to be different. Listen to me, Mr. Yori. In fairness, let's give EFCC kudos.
We have.
They've done their part. They've done their job. They've handed over now to the Ministry of Housing, the minister.
Yes.
You know, that's Dr. Dangiwa. So it is a new game that, look, do your job, make sure everything is transparent, which I believe they will, because EFCC is not going to allow them to just fold their hands, allow things to go upside down. No. Every one of us, EFCC, ICPC, Code of Conduct Bureau, I believe with what they are doing together, they are working together as never as before they have worked like this. I'm telling you, the success story definitely will come to Nigeria, for Nigeria to at least to see what they are doing. Like the Code of Conduct Bureau that I belong to, I know what is going on, what the chairman is doing. Since he came, I can tell you the numerous cases that we have that is working on, that by the time innovate them, it's going to be a mind-boggling to the Nigerian people.
And you know that you have your work. I beg your pardon for interrupting you. You know that you have your work cut out for you, because as I think both you gentlemen have already said, this is an individual case. Lord knows what else is going on out there. And the suspicion is perhaps this is no more than 5, maybe 7% of the real corruption. People are just guessing. They don't have any scientific basis. But people thinking that we know ourselves, that this one, do you know what else? Not just with the individual being mentioned, Mr. Emefiele, in other strata, other areas of our society, they feel
there are
that
more
there's so much going
out
on.
there. There are more Emefiele out there. I can tell you that. There are more.
So what about the enablers?
What Emefiele out there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You were talking about the enablers.
Yes.
The enablers of corruption.
So whoever...
What do you mean by enablers?
Well,
that is all the checkpoints that seem to have been, they strolled through?
I mean, let us just lay this out on the table.
Briefly, please.
Do you really believe that even the gentleman being mentioned, Godwin Emefiele, while he was governor of the central bank, you think all the ills attributed to him, he worked alone?
He wouldn't have.
Of course, this is the point.
He wouldn't have.
So the issue comes back down to what the agencies have to do in a collaborative way, from a viewpoint of being proactive and preventive. Take the fight to all the strata of government to reduce opportunities of occurrence. So it's education, it's orientation, it's sensitization, it's deployment of technology. It is to plug the holes. Don't let it happen as much as possible.
The enablers that you're talking about, you know, Nigerians have a quaint and dubious expression: you eat alone, you die alone. So, following from that, Emefiele, whatever, he couldn't have been working alone. But the problem now is
at all.
How do you these people that should speak up, I don't know, they should be able to speak up. So this is where it comes back to the administration. I hate these quaint expressions about zero tolerance. Which zero tolerance? Which zero tolerance?
So it's what is important is the critical steps. I think we're on the move now. Like I did mention at the start of the program, and this is my opinion. I think Mr. President is on a legacy journey. I believe, I mean, the chairman, his boss that he's talking about, is an appointee of Mr. President. So it's a reflection of how his mind is working. I think the key is to bring quality people. It's to bring people who have vision.
There you go.
I was making a point yesterday in a different program that the challenge we face in Nigeria is that many people are focused on ambition rather than vision. So my view is, and we want these agencies to do well, that's our prayer, is that we now have a vision that goes beyond the immediate. So we're saying, here's the game plan. We've seen this now. So in a proactive way, we shall go to this aspect. We shall do the orientation. We shall do the sensitization. We shall do the training. We shall do the enforcement. We shall lead by example. We shall deploy technology. And we're going to make sure that people face the wrath of the law. So just it's a combination.
Indeed.
And it's work in progress. What we need to do is to keep measuring the progress in this regard, because it took a long time to build up. And I believe Mr. President and his team are focused on that.
And you're so right, you know, Jerry, when you say that Mr. President appointed all of these people that are doing these marvelous work.
Correct.
So they're a reflection of, you know, the legacy that he wants to leave. I mean, look, people... it's a very secretive society. Coming back to you, EJ, in our Abuja studio, it's a secretive society. People keep secrets. People are covering for each other. Was it you who was, you know, recounting the story of a Chinese person being involved with a Nigerian person, and the Chinese person, he really got the music. You know, he really faced the music. And in Nigeria, these people are walking free. We have an accountant general, I think in one of the states, where he was accused of having, you know, improperly enriched himself and was asking for a plea bargain. I mean, I don't know, the law is, the way the law is being used, most ordinary people that no sabi too much book are wondering what's going on here. That's where they come about double standards. And so when we hear about zero tolerance, I guess we need to sort of remember that, well, Mr. President appointed all these people. He must have done his background checks on all of them. He knew the type of people they were, and so he's put them, and we are getting these results. And much as we are happy about it, the worrying thing is that perhaps this is only 10% of what's out there. So there's a lot more work that has to be done by the EFCC, by the Code of Conduct Bureau, and all of these other, you know, Banks, how did banks let it get to this side? How did it get to this extent? All of those things, all the registrations, how was it that all these things were registered? So even without knowing how it is that they go about their work, these are, flag points that Nigerians need to know what is going on in society. And Mr. President probably, nobody needs to tell him. He needs to indicate and show by all means necessary that he is dead serious on this. It is Jerry who said that it's a legacy issue for Mr. President. He's come and he's not making it comfortable for anybody. So now we have it all there. But both gentlemen have pointed out that we are seeing what we are seeing, but it's only a chip. It's only the tip of the iceberg. We are guessing that it is only the tip, and most Nigerians will see spot on. They will say, spot on. You are guessing right, because there's so much that I myself know, but I don't have the technical wherewithal to prove it. We see so much that we know cannot be good.
And the point is, and I've made this point earlier, that the same message, the same effectiveness, and growing effectiveness has got to go right through the strata of government, all the way through the subnationals, where our people can feel, smell, and touch the progress of this fight against corruption.
So not just at the federal level.
No, so this is the point.
Come down to the states.
And that's why
well.
I keep saying there's a lot of work to be done. This message has to go right through.
If I may come
yes,
here,
sir. EJ, go ahead.
I may come here. Fighting corruption, like I've often said, is everybody's business. And that was what the chairman of Code of Conduct Bureau, Dr. Abdullahi Usman Bello, said. And beyond that, when we go down, there are 3 tiers of government: federal, state, and local government. The federal government, money comes in, allocations are shared among the 36 states, including FCT and local governments. And no one is questioning all this money that have been accrued, like the fuel subsidy savings, that Mr. President, in his goodwill, was able to send across the 36 states, including FCT, to help to bring people out of poverty. Billions to states. Most of the governors, ask them what they have done with that money. So when we fight corruption, it's across the board. All the MDAs, the process, that is the procurement processes, how we conduct the affair of government, especially spending the funds that belong to the people. This money belongs to Nigerians.
Honorable E.J.
So now, what I'm saying,
we're going to have to leave it there. We've run out of time. Really, I really regret having to interrupt you, but we've run out of time. Thank you very much, Honorable E.J. Agbonayima, Federal Commissioner, Code of Conduct Bureau, and indeed to our dear Chief Jerry Chukwueke, current affairs analyst. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll keep on this, of course.
Work in progress.
Yes.
I think we'll make good progress.
All right.
By the time we are done with Mr. President. He's doing good. Yes.
That's the place to leave it. Please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I am Yori Folari. Bye-bye for now.